Hey students, so today we are going to discuss the topic of classification. Okay. Mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Mammals. Okay. So, mammals are warm-blooded animals with hair or fur that give birth to live young and feed their young milk. Examples include cows, lions, and elephants. So basically, they are saying that they are basically warm-blooded animals and have hair or fur on their bodies and give birth to live babies and feed them milk. Okay, for example, cows, lions, and elephants. Birds. So they are warm-blooded vertebrates with feathers, wings, and beaks that lay eggs that hatch into chicks. Examples include crows, parrots, and owls. Okay, so basically, they're saying that the birds are basically warm-blooded vertebrates and have feathers, wings, and beaks. As you can see that the parrot, okay, it's a warm-blooded vertebrate. Okay, so the next one is fish. Cold-blooded animals that live in water, have scaly skins, fins for swimming, and breathe through gills. So basically, they're saying that the fish are cold-blooded, live entirely in water, and have scaly skin, okay, and use fins to swim and gills to breathe, okay. For example, salmon fish, goldfish, okay. Reptiles. Cold-blooded animals with dry, scaly skin that lay eggs. Examples include snakes, crocodiles, and lizards. So basically, reptiles are cold-blooded and have dry and scaly skin and lay eggs on land. Okay? So the next one is amphibians. Small vertebrates that can live on land and in water, are moist and smooth and lay eggs. Examples include frogs and toads. So basically, amphibians are cold-blooded, have moist and smooth skin, and can live both on land and in water. Like frogs, toads, they lay their eggs in water. Okay? So these are basically the animal classes, which are mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Okay? So the next one is vertebrates and invertebrates. So vertebrates and invertebrates are both groups of animals. Vertebrate has a backbone. The backbone is made of many bones in an animal's back. A vertebrate backbones help connect the different parts of its body. In the drawing below, each vertebrate's backbone is colored orange. Okay. So basically, vertebrates, these are the animals that have a backbone running down their back. Okay. And how it helps, like the backbone is made of many small bones connected together. It acts like a strong internal tower that holds the animal's body part together and help them stand or move. Okay. For example, you can say birds, fish, frogs, snakes, etc. are the examples of vertebrates. So, invertebrates. An invertebrate does not have a backbone. In fact, invertebrates do not have any bones. Some invertebrates have an outer cover on their body called an exoskeleton. Other invertebrates have a soft body. So basically, invertebrates, these are the animals do not have a backbone. In fact, they don't have any internal bones at all. Like some have a hard outer shell to protect them, which you can say exoskeleton, like crabs, insects, or spiders. Okay, so the next one is classification. Scientists sort animals with similar traits into groups. This is called classification. Classification helps scientists learn about how animals live. How do scientists classify animals? First, they make observation about an animal. Scientists observe the animal's trait, including its body parts and behavior. Then scientists compare the animal's traits to the other animal's trait. Scientists classify animals with similar traits into a group. So basically, what is classification? Classification is just a fancy word for sorting or grouping things. Imagine sorting your clothes into drawer. Okay? Scientists do the exact same thing with living things. They sort animals with similar features into groups to make them easier to study and understand. Okay, so scientists uses a two-step process to figure out which group an animal belongs to. Like first, they observe. They study the animal's trait, like its body parts or other things, and how does they are similar to each other. Okay, and the second one, they compare those traits to other animals. If the new animals share the same traits as a group, they already know it's get placed into that group. Okay, so use evidence to classify animals. Roundworms are a group of animals with similar traits. The following traits can be used to identify roundworms. They have a soft cylindrical body. They have no limbs. They are not made up of segments. Okay, so basically, the slide gives you three clues to identify a roundworm. First, they have a cylindrical body, they have no limbs, and their body is smooth and not divided into segments, no rings or sections like an earthworm. Okay, so come observe the animals and read the description. Select the one animal that has all of the roundworm traits listed above. So, option A, which is the description basically shows as an exoskeleton, hard outer shell and 8 legs. Does it match? No. Roundworms are soft and have no legs. Whereas option B, the description shows that it has a soft, thin, cylindrical body, it has no limbs, and it is not made up of segments. So, does it match? Yeah, it perfectly matches all three clues. Okay? Okay. So the next one is kingdom classification. In the past, scientists classified living organisms into two groups, plants and animals. Over the past 300 years, scientists have discovered many more types of organisms. Today, many scientists classify organisms into six broad groups called kingdom. So, what is kingdom classification? Basically, long ago, scientists only divided living things into two groups, which is plants and animals. But as they discovered tiny creatures under a microscope, they realized two groups were not enough. Today, scientists divide all life into six broad groups, which is kingdom. Okay? So, organisms in each kingdom have specific traits. So, the table shows some traits used to describe each kingdom. Okay. How many cells do they have? The first one is bacteria, which have one cell, archaea, which have one cell, protists, which have one or many cells, fungi, which have one or many cells, animals have many cells, and plants have also many cells. Okay? So, this is a table that shows, and you have to read this table carefully. Okay. So this is the activity and you have to do this. So this organism is Danio. It is a member of the animal kingdom. Danio is commonly called a zebrafish. Young zebrafish are see-through. Scientists can easily observe their insides. This trait makes zebrafish a useful organism for scientists to study. So we're saying that can Danio cell make their own food? So let's look at the clues given in the text. Like clue one is that the text explicitly says that it is a member of the animal kingdom. And clue 2 says it also tells us its common name is the zebra fish, which is a type of fish. Okay? So think back to the rules of the animal kingdom. Like animals cannot make their own food inside their bodies. Okay? And instead, animals have to eat other things to get energy. So the answer is no. Daniel Rito cell cannot make their own food because it belongs to the animal kingdom. It must consume other things to get its foods and energy. Okay? Okay, students, this is your self assessment, and you have to read the scenario and answer that question accordingly. Okay? These two slides are your self assessment. Okay, so identify traits. These are also an activity. So, which trait describes all bacteria? Option A, bacteria cannot make their own food. Bacteria do not have cells that have a nucleus. Bacteria are made up of many cells. Answer A is correct. Bacteria do not have cells that have a nucleus. So, option B is correct. Okay. So, the next question is, which traits describe archaea? Some archaea can make their own food. Archaea are made up of many cells. Some bacteria have cells that have a nucleus. Yes, some archaea can make their own food. So the next one is, which trait describes fungi? All fungi have cells that have a nucleus. All fungi are made up of many cells. All fungi can make their own food. Yes, all fungi have cells that have a nucleus. Okay, so the next one is, which traits describe protist? Some protists have cells that do not have a nucleus. All protists can make their own food, or some protists are made up of one cell. Yes, some protists are made up of one cell is a correct option. Okay, so the next one is, which trait do plant and bacteria have in common? Option A, plant and some bacteria have cells with a nucleus. They both are made up of one cell. Plants and bacteria can make their own food. Yes, plants and some bacteria can make their own food is a correct option. Which traits do animals and fungi have in common? Both have cells with a nucleus. They both are made up of many cells. They both can make their own food. Yes, both have cells with a nucleus. Okay.